Dimapur Naga Students Union Bra, Dimapur District Nichire, Tagia Sop Sorgar School State Duimoina Surprise Checking Gurina Ahya Homoi, Substitute Teachers Rakya, Kumba School de Excess Teachers Rakigina Tagia Pia, Aro Bia School Infrastructure Aro, PM Portion Midday Meal Palbra Implement Nogurigina Tagia Janadishe. Idu aboard District Education Office staff or officials can brabi midday meal nimide quarterly poisa disperse kuriade poisa bi dita kuri die kushe. IB tula details over.
The Dimapur Naga Students Union has started its educational tour. It's surprise visitation of all the government primary school, middle schools and high schools, which is within the jurisdiction of Dnsu after the segregation of the new district. So we have went to around 37 schools, and there we did some findings. The union is not only shocked but very disappointed to see lot of proxy teachers and substitute teachers is still practicing in Dimapur district. So and moreover, the infrastructure system is also it's in a very pathetic condition, because almost all the schools it requires a lot of renovation in almost all the schools, and in some schools, well, we asked some teachers, they even told us that like the student and the teacher ratio, they are having some problem, because in 2 or 3 schools, the total number of students, that is also in government middle school, there is the students are around 80 to 90, whereas the teachers, the total number of teachers is 18 to 20. So we asked them, what is the problem in regarding with these things? Did you ever complain to the competent department? And their reply was like, yes, we did. We even wrote an application to the education department, but however, they did not pay heed, and through political appointment, they used to send again and again teachers to that particular schools. That was a response that we got from the teachers who were working there also. And in regarding with the midday meal, as we all know, PM Pushan midday meal scheme, it is well aware that the said scheme is enforced to provide better nutritional levels to all the students of government schools, government schools or local bodies schools in all the working days. However, it is very surprising to know that after thorough discussion with the concerned in charge of the particular schools, we get to learn that some staffs who are dealing in this from the DO office, who are doing the paperworks in regarding with the midday meal, they are even taking some nominal fees. They are deducting some amount which is meant for the students, which is meant for that particular schools. That was the information that also we have received from them. So the Dimapur Naga Students Union, we had almost 2 months survey, visiting all the schools. We took around 2 months, and by next week we will be submitting a representation to the government, to the principal director. There we will be placing some charter of demand. Number one, I will just highlight 1 or 2. We wanted the department to install biometric attendance device in all the schools and DO office, which should be compulsory. Secondly, to provide infrastructure with additional classroom, because lots of schools are facing with compact students. There are a lot of students in one classroom, and it is very difficult for the students and even for the teachers to peacefully execute in their working. And we also wanted to appeal that in GPS government primary school, Ward 13, which is located at Landmark Colony, there is no school. There is just one thatch house with 2 rooms, where one is occupied by the teachers and the other one is for the students. So iniga laga juncture ekta de students sab mix up kuri na takado kiniga kuri ase na jane classroom takan ki sab te process kuri ase na jane. To there we have asked the teachers also, are ki sapra how comes itu classroom do iniga ase na ki kusile takan bra kwado. They've already received a sanction, but while procuring the land, itu ramde tagan itu laga school construct role laga do itu to puisa do sab tadi pelai dise na koi dise. To itu karne bi we will also try to appeal that we also appeal that proper itu classrooms kan lagi ase GPS Ward 13 Landmark Colony de. Itu bichiri there we in most of the high schools we face lot of lack of math and science teachers, and even in some schools, while the general teachers tagan oppai na thaki na tagan maths or science can be shekaboli olai jase. To ito ramde we are not undermining their ability or capability, but still then tagan laga original subject matter din rahi na tagan general teacher ekta bra particular subject ekta laga inika shekai rakam, especially maths or science kan nisina. Itu ramdiro ledo I don't think that students takan be right track te jaya na takan be thick receive present nokre the education do on that particular subject. Itu labi amen be ekta tout kure ase. 3 remuneration act all of strictly kiba korile bal to strongly enforce the policy of no work no pay do. Itu bichide the lastly to sincerely implement PM Poshan midday meal scheme in all the schools.
There are so many loopholes which the government also know. The government schools whichever school have filed a complaint against the government or appeal the government has been overlooked. For example, let's take the example of the infrastructure of a school, where there is poor roofing. Chanda thagine tina debra tina bi chanda thagibo roofing bi chanda thagine pani girini rainy season de class te jawan apara class te bugon apara laga class schools khambe ase. And where we have inquired and then they say they have already appealed, but the government is not paying any heed. And even some schools where there is no proper drainage system. Let's take the example of government middle school, half Nagarjan, town middle school. There be drainage system na thaki kine classroom do all of nje de ase to pani do guse ko ase pani gire lam de. So it to be appeal ko ase, but then the government is not given any response. Therefore, conclusion to Amikhandu, the government is not doing enough. And we will be going surprise chicken and we will not stop from here. Amikhan aji key step lo se itu to Amikhan kuringi jabo. Let's take the example of this one. Why I'm mentioning government is not sincere enough. Uniform kan sabi. You can see the uniform. It's all babies uniform, which the quality is also not good. They are supplying the uniform, but then supply kure free misi supply kure. And it is the duty to even go and check the size of the student also. Uniform supply kure kidi lagawa na pare to ki kurbo. And then facility. As per our information, the government as the policy of education system to basic policy. But then the government is not implementing it. Let's take the example of music teacher. Music teacher be thagiwala asol to government schools kande. Mahan jaina hudi se music teacher asena na jaina kuma school high school hangi hodia to guitar to dise ko ase. Only music teacher na. Vocational training kuruwa laga bi scheme ase. They are providing some nitin laga kan ki kan training alak itu kan laga kan bi ase. But then they are not employing. There's no one to teach them. So itu to abandon dia rakya ase. Sama hando government supply kore, kuma hando supply kore lado. For example, let's take the example of computer. They have received a computer, but there's no computer class. Office te rakhe thakbo kuma han teachers hando khode bi loja rakhe the. Ini kala situation pe ami face kurse. And according to the education policy of the government of India, students with in special needs, differently able person, differently abled student, edu hangi bi special teacher ekta appoint korbo lage, which the government is not doing. Likewise, government has lots of things to do, and we, the Dimapur Naga Student Union, we will continue to, take steps to make sure that the Charter of Demand, which we will be submitting to the Office of Principal Director very soon, it will a Charter of Demand to fulfill go lage, it will dibo lage. So we want to say loud and clear to the government of Nagaland, the whole government of Nagaland, to be sincere enough.
Our office would like to appeal to the concerned department as well as to the government to kindly install a CCTV camera in the schools, government schools, so that there will be no, there have been many complaints coming up from the school authorities saying that saman harala chor gala cases pisho olai ase. To itu garne concerned department halebi government ge amgan appeal kurun jado government schools kan de CCTV lagai dile pal ki garne, as we all know, bur infrastructure bude tagan ekta dida saman taha ido harishigole doro tagan schools kan garne problem huje. For instance, computer kan isna ido kan harishigole tagan garne problem huje. To ido garne morombra government ge appeal kurun jay government schools kan de CCTV lagai dile bhal guna ido apne ge government ge ekta request janai di ase.
Ida Anomalies aro citing we Hornbill TV.